Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. What I'm creating for you today is a video with the theme of Sagittarius season. Essentially, this is a project I started doing in Patreon about a year ago, and I'm moving them over to Patreon first and then releasing them on YouTube. So both, it will be in both spaces. And what we're creating is a look into the present zodiac season. So the upcoming one is Sagittarius, or perhaps the present one, depending on when you're watching this, is Sagittarius. We're going to cover a little bit of the full moon and new moon dates, how we might work with the energy, discuss the overall collective vibe that most of us will be experiencing as the sun, which we all experience, is in the sign of Sagittarius, Additionally, once we're done with this discussion, we will move over to a more ASMR style supportive energy work session to support the comfortable acclimation, or the comfortable navigation rather, of Sagittarius season, and whatever of the themes come up through the cards that we pull and the topics we discover through this chat. So I do have a little bit of notes just because I won't remember all the dates off the top of my head. But essentially, Sagittarius season is from November 22nd to December 21st. Now, of course, there could be a little discrepancy depending on where you're checking in. But overall, that's about the general time frame for Sagittarius season. The full moon will be on November 12th this month, and the new moon will be on November 26th, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit going forward. But the general vibe of Sagittarius season, Bamba's looking at me, he wants a drink, give me a sec. All right, sorry about that. So in general, Sagittarius season is a time of journey, of trusting our own guidance, our own inner guidance, truth, our truth, what is my truth, perspective, the path of the individual. It's a fire sign, which is known to be a bit more of the explosive energy, if we can call it that, explosive energy. Explosive, why is that so hard for me to say? A little quick, a little impulsive perhaps. So those are some things that we can use to our advantage, but we also want to make sure that we're checking in with from a broader picture to see if those impulses are in any way, right time, right place kind of thing. But overall, I would suggest that going with the flow of the season is typically, it was designed this way for a reason, wasn't it? And we'll come to find as well that because this is a season of expansion, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, expansion, personal truth, and a type of isolation. And I don't mean isolation as in kind of closing ourselves off, but a time of really discovering what is just focusing on us. That might be withdrawing, but that might more just be very introspective and understanding we all have different perspectives and knowing that your perspective is your truth. And what's funny about this is that at least here in the States, we have holidays starting around this time period, right? So we have Thanksgiving and stuff like that, or leading up to Christmas. Sagittarius season isn't exactly Christmas, but around those times. And just in general, it's a time of holidays, the holidays, right? That kind of thing. And during those times, a lot of stress can come up for some individuals because we're being forced to get together with family. And some of you might really enjoy getting together with your family. But for some of you, that might be quite stressful as well, or cause some anxiety or tension or discord or just stress in general. And it's funny because it's almost combative to the fact that Sagittarius season is about inner truth, and we want to hold that flame sacred within us and navigate from those points. So when we're forced, obligated to connect with family, let's say, or you know how families are, right? We get what I'm reading between the lines and what I'm trying to say here. It's almost in conflict with what the season is kind of pulling out of us. So it's no wonder that a lot of us can feel quite stressed around these times, particularly for the getting together with family kind of stuff. Excuse me. This is a really wonderful time to set intentions, to go beyond overthinking, to stop overthinking everything, stop trying to bring logic into everything, as in it's not real unless I can make sense of it. There's a kind of trust. Sagittarius has a very divine energy of the path, of the journey, of inner guidance. And although water signs are supposed to be like the most intuitive, right? But all the signs are intuitive in their own way. It just kind of comes out in different ways. The Sagittarius is more of the centaur, right? The human form, the human mind, the consciousness of human kingdom, but the bottom half is horse or animal, and speaks more of the journey and grounding or carrying through the ability to contemplate things, but also tie into it a personal level of impulse and a more like primal sense. So yes, it is intuitive, but if I had to say, it's not exactly, and I don't mean to draw lines here in any way, but not exactly the intuition that we think like third eye intuition. It's more of a primal, gut-based intuition, an instinct, an animal instinct, if you will. This is a season that supports you trusting yourself and being able to take in everything. You're human, you're going to take in everything. You're absorbing the circumstances, you're observing and watching the dialogues between other people, what people say about you or how people want to guide you. But this is a time to really work with intentions of what is my path, what is my purpose, what is my experience, and carve into that, like really carve into it to make it, to work with the flow, I guess, or to just make sure that you're getting the most out of this season in general and not, again, going against the current. This is a great time as well for interpreting communication in ways that is less hung up on the actual word and more inclined to pick up and read between the lines of things. So no matter what someone's telling you, you might feel that they're talking about something else or they're hinting at something that might be very heightened for you or the collective at this time. Words have been a thing lately for me where, I wish that we didn't even have language sometimes, because we start splitting hairs over certain things that we're doing the best to our ability to communicate. I'm doing the best as my human self to transcribe thought, feeling, and all the things going on within me or that I know to be true to express. And I'm limited. I stumble on my words, or I have to use words that I know other people understand. YouTube is a great example of this. There are times where the title of my video is, I don't want to say not true, it's a true title or it goes in line, but I'm having to use keywords that I know people will search for or I know people will understand. So remove negative energy. Like, as a energy worker, I don't believe in negative energy as in it's a bad thing. There's negative and positive. There's positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. There's give and take. But a typical person reading clear negative energy will know, yes, an energy cleansing or an energy bath or something that will support me in releasing what doesn't serve me. So this is a really, I think, could be a great time to hone in on like what the frick we're all trying to say to each other and connect more from a heart-based communication versus dissecting and picking apart each word, overkill. There's a time for that. Like, I'm not trying to say that is something that shouldn't be done. I just mean this season should be a focus on heart-based communication. Communicating in ways that your smile, your hand, your gestures, your body language, your warmth, your inflection, perhaps, it's certainly a part of it, I guess, in communication. But in general, connecting with someone and knowing like they're using words to the best of their ability, instead of picking a fight over it, or instead of telling someone you did it wrong, how about you think about it or connect with your heart and try to feel, what is this person trying to say? And go from there. I think we'd all be served by that for the whole year, but it's a great time for it now in general. Again, this is a wonderful time for expansion. We have Jupiter ruling this sign. So anything that you're working on could be expanded, joy, luck. Jupiter is known to be like a positive energy in general. Jupiter is one of the planets of a higher vibration, so it's positive to helpful to connect with that planet. So listening to the sounds of Jupiter could be helpful when you're manifesting or focusing and connecting with your inner truth and asking your heart to guide you on this journey, and trust the steps. Stop the overthinking, but why are you going to do that? That doesn't make sense. How is that going to add up? And just go and carry and move in ways and act in ways and navigate your path in ways from a more sensing and feeling point of view versus like hyper analytical stuff. I said how this is a time where we might feel called to go within to find our own truth. So you might find that you want to have time alone. You might find that TV or the media or even your friends and family are like too much from you, because as even the most well-meaning person still might have influence. No, don't get me wrong. There's people who just like, whatever you do, I hold space for you. I wish you the best. Like, that's great. That's where we should all be, right? But in general, people, more or less, there are a majority of people have attachments to what they want you to do, or what they think you should do, or what they think would make you happy or make you better. And I'm not saying not to take people's advice, but again, right now, or rather for the period of November 22nd to December 21st, it's more important to know what your truth is and what your inner guidance is. So feel free to hold those boundaries. Feel free to do whatever you need to do to connect with yourself and not be so influenced, or not allow yourself to be forced into positions where you feel an influence of some kind being projected to you. One of the things that we're going to cover in the session is a bit of a shield, not a shield to block things, but a bit of a protective shield, so that that influence is not as heavy, hopefully, and we're able more to listen to our inner voice, and more specifically our inner instinct, and navigate from those perspectives. I guess when I'm talking about the pulling back or the reservation perhaps of being around people, Sagittarius energy is social. It's fun. It wants to go out. It wants to party. It wants to have an experience, but not an experience but more so the experience for the self, It's the kind of like, I'll find my own way home. I'm having one person pop into my head specifically who's like the epitome of like Sag energy, wild card energy, everyone loves him. He's just like sunny and bright and fun and unexpected. Like he's very led by what fulfills him, and that's like the biggest piece of that. So I think that we will see more of ourself in ourself versus the times where we feel more, I'm not finding the best words here, but there's a difference between finding the self within the self and witnessing the self in other people. So we're all mirrors, we're all mirroring each other all the time and all of that. And you experience yourself when you're in a relationship or when you're having a conversation, and you start to see how you respond and how that person responds. And you there's like this thing of self-experience, but with another person. Sag energy is experience of self and self, if I can say it that way. So I'm sorry that that's coming out a little weird, but it's just like something that had to come out. For the new moon on November 26th, which is in Sagittarius, this would be a great time to really work with Sag energy. Sun in Sag, moon in Sag kind of thing. Double whammy. So planting seeds that support your journey, your expansion, whether that's mental, emotional, material, you know, however you're looking to expand in your life, or being vague or general, as in, I'd like to set intentions to support planting seeds, or my intention is to plant seeds which support the overall experience that I'm having in this life experience, my experience in this experience. And I want to align with and use that new moon on the 26th to really tune into the way you want to feel and the elements that excite you, and hold them as much as you can in your heart, let's say, or in your body, and let it come through like waves throughout your system. An alternative would be to hold a candle and charge the candle with the intentions of how you want to feel or what you want to experience in this life experience. So I'm going to switch the camera around so you can see the cards that we're pulling, and I'll show you some crystals that I'm going to use for the session, and we'll go from there, all right? All right, so I'm just going to show you some stones first that I'm going to be using in our session today. I forget the name of this one. I know that's frustrating, but it has like pyro in its name, or pyra in its name. I'll try to Google it and put the word here for you, or I'll reach out to the Real Crystal Witch, which is where I got it. But this has a very fiery energy to it for me, but also kind of cleansing and stabilizing. So it makes me think of a flame that doesn't waver, you know, a flame that's not necessarily dancing about and is holding true in some aspect. And it has good sounds too. This is a red tourmaline, ruby tourmaline, in a quartz sphere. And I love the sphere for like the earth vibe or the planet vibe and the journey and the never ending and just keep walking. It has another nice high energy, vital force. And I just thought it would be a great fit for this session. To support releasing the overthinking of things, this is morganite, one I would say would work great. If not, then like a peachy stone in general to quiet the mind a little and bring it back into the body. Carnelian would be great as well to connect with the primal instinct and be guided by that versus constant thought or excessive thought. Peach moonstone, peach aventurine, other options. And this is one of my favorites. It is Kambaba stone, and I wanted to bring a stone into the session which will support intuition and trusting your instinct. So I chose this one. And I like the green for the fertility, as in anything can grow, anything can be created. All right, and I'll show you some cards. Alright. I'm just going to shuffle these a little bit and set an intention to gain more of an intuitive aspect of working with the energy of this Sagittarius season. I feel like we're gonna realize that not everything has to be said, you know? It's great to share, it's great to use your voice, it's great, but you know what? Why leave a nasty comment? You know, why correct someone when you know they're just trying to speak from their heart? Why get hung up on certain things, you know? Sorry, I'm going off the screen just so it doesn't make a lot of noise. And just kind of listen to the ultimate voice. You know? Let me zoom you out a little bit. I don't know. Okay, so when I pull these, I'm gonna go this way, and I want it to look upright for you. So we'll go that away. Alright, so where are we coming in with? What are we coming in with? What are we gonna experience here? Let's say a couple for those. And what is the, oh, hello. Well, 3 came out. The guidance, what we can do about it, or I don't know. Guidance, we'll just leave it open. I don't want to define it too much. So this is Knight of Cups. I always do that when it's upside down. Knight of Cups. This is what we're coming in with. And it is so we're coming out of Scorpio season, which is quite emotional, and we may feel like we've kind of put on some emotional armor, or we've leveled up a little bit to understand ourselves and others potentially on an emotional level, kind of upgraded, we could say, our emotional intelligence. So we're coming in with a bit more strength here, but it's not necessarily the height of it, but we have developed in some way. We've set out and experienced a leveling up of our emotional intelligence. We'll just leave it at that for now. All right, so this is what we might experience. 9 of Swords. Keeping you up at night. Some things you need to work out still, or some things that are going to be playing in our head. Preparation for all the holiday stuff, perhaps, as an example, or the end of the year and feeling pressured on what we need to still get done, or what boxes didn't we check off. So we'll be mindful of this coming in. Here we have the 7 of Pentacles. So we may be feeling like we've put some effort in somewhere that didn't exactly work out the way we wanted it to, and maybe we're beating ourselves up over it, or we're planning and stressing, and it's just so much on our mind that we're not really seeing what we've actually done. You know, it's always what we didn't get done. What about the list that did get checked off? And when I say list get checked off, it makes us think that it has to be physical, as in we have to see evidence and touch evidence. But sometimes the evidence is physical, but it's not something we can quite touch yet. It could be seeds that we've planted that we're not seeing the fruit of necessarily, but they are there and they are germinating, and things do take time. So I feel like there's a block with this, the stress we're putting on ourselves, or the stress that we're experiencing, that's preventing us from seeing what we really have gotten done, you know? The Fool. So there's a risk here as well with the Sag energy of, and this is reverse, obviously upside down, of not looking where you're going, of falling off, you know, falling off. So when I think of the Fool, I do think of energy. In general, I think of energy for most stuff. I mean, that's kind of my space that I like to hang out in. And the Fool, from an energetic perspective, reminds me of the potential crash coming down from the high, you know, coming down from, sorry, something just popped in my head. Coming down from we're like a letdown. Like things could have been really, really good, and we're not mindful of sharing that energy or sending it back out. So we end up crashing because the pendulum starts swinging the other way. Alternatively, though, and probably in better pairing with these cards, we might be blinded by all the things that we have on our mind in the space where we're not enjoying and we're not seeing that this is a start of something. We're delaying the start because we're still, it's almost like procrastination, you know, when you have so much work to do, but you're tired or you don't want to do it, or you're procrastinating in general, and then you can't feel good about anything because you know you still have so much to do. And it's just saying, I guess, a little like, get it started, but like make it fun. And if it's not fun and there's no way to make it fun, reevaluate, because there's always a way to make it fun. My grandfather would say, if it's not fun, don't do it. But what he meant is make it fun. You ding dong. Okay, so here's more of the guidance. We have the Death card in reverse. So this is, death is always about going through a new door. But the guidance here is to go freaking through it. We're not really we're afraid of going through it. So here, look. This is the start, right? The Fool is like a fresh start. In reverse, though, we're not really able to access that, or there's a delay, which is a mental delay, the procrastination, the stuff. Ooh, I have so much to do. Ooh, man, I didn't get all that stuff done. Or, ooh, I have so much to harvest and I don't even know where to start. I can't get started. And the Death in reverse is also a delay in getting started. So the guidance is to walk through the door, go through the passage. We have the Empress in reverse. This is about fertility, art, beauty, Venus, motherly energy. So there might be some maternal healing that would be very served by you. So if there's something, if you're delaying something because it's not right for you, or you've put something off because it's just not for you, but you said yes to it, or it was pushed on you and you don't want to do it, but you know you have to do it because you got to at least clear the slate so you can move on. It feels like it might be something with a maternal or feminine energy in your life, or how you treat yourself as your own mother. But the guidance here is to heal some aspect of mother, grandmother, some kind of connection. Perhaps your mother took on too much. Perhaps your mother forced some things on you that didn't really fit, and you said yes to it, and or maybe didn't even say yes, but it just happened and worked out that way, and you have to reclaim something. And then we have the Seven of Swords in reverse as well. And if you can see upright, it's like kind of sneaky, this card reminds me of. Like, I know he's just carrying stuff, but it has like a sneaky vibe a little bit. I guess that's the way his feet are. It's like tiptoe. But here it's saying, like, you don't have to carry everything. You don't have to keep going. You can leave behind the swords that don't belong to you. Or you can remove the ones that don't belong to you and leave behind only a little bit that do belong to you, whichever way you look at it. All right? So the guidance here is that you do have to go through the door. You do have to go through the threshold. You do have to commit to change and commit to this being a new experience. It's hard for some of us, I guess, because it came up twice. There's something to heal. But if it's not a mom thing, it could be in relation to your connection with abundance, with your connection to support, with your connection to your creative talents, your physical form. But the first impulse was a bit maternal. And here, I want to pull another guidance card here, actually, because I don't know, it's just not jumping out to me. So let's get a little guidance on this card. It's just saying, like, carry what you can carry. Don't carry what doesn't belong to you. Don't carry what nobody asked for. Don't carry the things that aren't important to you. And don't look back. Don't look back. But I missed that opportunity. Come on. You think any opportunity is missed? Like, there's so much more going on with things than missed opportunities. That whole if it's yours, it'll come back thing. So let's pull a guidance card here. Ooh, this one wants to come. It just slid off, so we're going to pull 2 guidance cards here. Ace of Wands. Creation. Total creative power to create anything you want. Stop looking back. Stop, Stop thinking about the things that you couldn't either get done, or rather the things that you wish. I don't know. Just stop looking back. Stop. Like, worry about, mind yourself, Stay in your lane. Get your stuff done. And then we have as well here the 9 of Cups. Completion. So these are clarifying why. If we're looking back, then we're blocking this. And this is what we want. Ace of Wands. Fire. Creation. Being in control of what you create. 9 of Cups, abundance, emotional fulfillment. It's like level though, like it's not tipping the scales, it's comfortable, it's confident. It's got plenty too. It's like, you need something? It's there's a generous energy, or at least there's a, what do you want to call it? Like a prosperous energy of fulfillment here, of something that makes you feel really good, and you could share it with someone if you wanted to. Okay, so let's just go through it again. We start coming in with an upgrade in our emotional intelligence. Like, this is what we've picked up from Scorpio season. We're understanding how people and places are tied to how they feel, and how to use your words more carefully, how to lead that way or stand up for things that are important to us, and what we're potentially going to experience this month. So if Sagittarius energy is about not overthinking, this is about overthinking. This is about the thoughts that keep you up at night. This is all the things weighing on your mind that, again, it feels like something you didn't get done, or a list or whatever, or it's almost time to make resolutions and I didn't do my resolution, like whatever I thought I'd get for. Stop, because you did a lot of work and you have a lot there, but you're not acknowledging it. And if you're not acknowledging it, then you're not experiencing it. You're not enjoying what you've collected, perhaps. So here it's like, let go and honor what you do have. Here as well, we can't quite start if we're not paying attention, if we're not letting these things go, and if we're not in control of our own mental space and appreciating what we have with reverence and gratitude, then you're hung up and you're not able to start on the next journey and the next phase. And we move right into that here as well. There's a door to go through, there's a portal, but this is asking you to commit to the fact that this is a new version. Whether you have, the same breakfast every day forever, it's still a different version of you. It's still an opportunity to declare yourself in a new realm. And there's a realm here asking you to heal, or a facet rather. Asking you to heal something in connection to your mother, or a maternal figure in your life, perhaps a wife or similar kind of partner. Or for those of you who that truly is just like, nope. This is asking you to heal something in your life related to your creative energy, your lack versus abundance mentality, your patience, your ability to hold space for people. And again, the guidance is don't look back. Stop it. Like, stop being distracted by whatever you feel like you left behind or that you don't have room for. Like, you only have so much space. And when you do that, you'll really tap into your full creative power. And you'll feel fulfilled, and you'll know that you have so much that you can share it. And it's definitely advisable to share, even if it's from a more neutral way of sharing, as in you don't have to call up someone and tell them what you want to give them necessarily. Maybe you will, but you don't have to. It's there. You might find people come to you, and now it's your decision. Your decision, your choice, whether they're worthy of you sharing how divinely fulfilled you feel, how perfectly fulfilled you're able to feel. Maybe you want to share that, maybe you don't, but you could. You definitely could. It's there. All right? All right, well, I hope that reading served you in some way or provided some information or guidance. The theme here in general is like, get out of your head. Get out of your head, because you can't start the next thing without that. And there might be some healing to do. But that healing, because we're in Sag season, will come from your own inner reflection. It's not potentially the kind of healing where like you got to go have a conversation with someone. It can be healing within you that switches things. Like, one of the things I talk about a lot, but one of my greatest things that I feel like I mastered was having a terrible relationship with my mom for as long as she was alive, as long as we were both alive together. And healing that. And it wasn't because we had a conversation or a heart to heart or anything. It was just like, I did it. And I don't feel that way about her anymore. I don't feel bad when I think about her. I don't feel victimized by her. I feel like I'm in control, I'm in control of how I feel about things. It doesn't change the circumstances that I had gone through, but it doesn't inhibit me either. It doesn't hold me in any space of, I still need to work on this. Like, I know that I have, and now as I'm healing or as I've healed, more things come in that validate the fact that, yes, you have healed that, like my connection to other maternal type figures in my life. And then and then what comes after that? Learning how to let someone love me in that way. You know what I mean? So anyway, sorry not to put myself in there, but I hope that makes a little bit more sense. I send you so much love. I'm going to reset up my little space here, and we'll move over to the ASMR style video. I hope that you enjoy, and I'll see you soon, okay? All right, well, welcome back. I want to first start, of course, by lighting our candle. And actually, let me first start by saying I'm leaving the fan on intentionally because my neighbor that I share a wall with has just listens to TV, like I'm telling you, all night. There's no point in me trying to stay up till 2 a.m. to record, because like that TV is always going. It doesn't really bother me, but I wish that it wasn't. But what are you gonna do? And try not to let it get to us. Just keep making our videos, and know that one day we'll have a different space for all of this. But the fan is on to hopefully drown out any muffled TV sounds coming through the wall, like I'm hearing right now. Anyway, okay, let's move on. But let's first start now, or move to lighting our candle and dedicating our session. This is an apple scent. So, on behalf of your and my and everyone else's highest and greatest good, in perfect comfort and alignment, our intention today from a general perspective is to create an energy work session to support the entire period of Sagittarius season, to help connect with that expansion, with the heartfelt drive, the being led by the heart space, by one's own inner instinct, to ground what feels purposeful to us, and if necessary, adjust our path to become more aligned with what our truth might be. Right? Sorry, I look kind of gross today. Okay. I want to also focus more specifically on cleansing, and I'm saying cleansing, on supporting the healthy release of overthinking, of a need to make sense of everything. Not everything makes sense. It doesn't. Not everything does. So we're going to really be served by a little wiggle room in this month. I want to support the mental field and make sure this area releases or stops focusing on the things that keep us up at night, some high standards, some endless to-do list. Alright, I want to support the connection between the mind of self, the true self, the true experience, and support that from this very joyous, very, I want to say exuberant, if that's the right word, space. And we also want to support being led with clarity along this journey. And if you'd like to set an intention, please just have a little look at this flame and direct your will, declare your will of what you'd like to get out of this. Okay? I'm going to use this rope incense. And, sorry. Okay. I'm just going to bend it because I want it to kind of burn out quick. So I like to do this. Seems faster. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems faster. Gonna light it as a little offering, energy exchange, a little energy for your journey. Okay. Can use this as a little ashtray. Let it get going a lot. Fire signs. And we're just gonna go all around your body. Wave the smoke. And my intention here is to decloud, dehaze the influence of others, because when we're seeking our own truth, we're human. We are susceptible to influence, heavily susceptible if not cautious, if not mindful. So I want to just clear that outside influence so you can really, with such precision and clarity, connect with your truth. All around. Just do a little spin, because this can come from towards the back as well. So I'm just going near the back of the head, side, shoulders, and back, the heart space, the mind, the throat, the inner vision, the spiritual connection, the solar plexus, your authenticity, yourself, your ego, sacral, to become more in touch with your instincts, your root, earth connection, and how you connect with spirit and with the earth. Right? It's very pretty. I don't know. I want to use the louder things first, so I'm going to use this rattle with the same intention. I just want to go around the body and continue to work to release that imposed outside influence from all sources. And of course, the intention is not to put in any like, oh, I'm all on my own, like kind of thing, but you can find online, and I think I've mentioned this recently, so forgive me for the repeat, but you can find online text that will support any point of view or go against any point of view. And when we're constantly being like this, it's so much, we start to kind of lose touch of what's truth to us. Sorry for the repetitive words here, but so I'm just going to go through around the head, around the body, and just work down, clearing the more outer energy fields. But I want to just use some sound for that, okay? When we have this clear connection with self, then we can manifest and create from that completely authentic place. spinning motion. Really, I'm just very called to focus on the center points, so heart, throat, and solar. Hips, sometimes we're even clouded by what makes us angry, you know? It's crazy. And I'm going to focus specifically as well now on the Achilles heel area, so back behind the ankle. One of my favorite things about Sagittarius energy is it's not afraid to disagree. And it's okay, right? I mean, I'm sure you all very, very much disagree with many things, but there's sometimes it's hard to express that, or how do I say this? There are some times when we're not able to express that, and it goes back and forth too, right? Like everything else, it's a shift. It's my first car, the Volkswagen Cabriolet, you know? And on one hand, not everything needs to be said. It doesn't. Why waste your energy? But on the other hand, if you're having a hard time standing up for yourself, you might want to pull in that Sagittarius energy, or connect with it rather. Breathe in and speak your truth. But you can also speak your truth through your actions, right? Probably more so. Just kind of playing with truth, connecting with truth, supporting it to come through your field, in fact. I've got this awesome little roller ball that I bought recently. I put the liquid in, but I wish I could remember the name of the shop. I'll link it below. But I got this on Etsy, and the tip of the ball in this little roller ball is made of leopard skin jasper. Grounding, but also instinctual, animal instinct. And in this is some fractionalized coconut oil, I believe is how you say, with some essential oil from Eden's Garden. Is that who it is? I'll have to look that up too. But it's a patchouli tobacco essential oil, and it smells great. And I love it for grounding. Just like kind of earthy, but a little ethereal at the same time. Fiery. Patchouli and tobacco, you know. So I'm going to use this energetically on you to align and connect with that inner truth, that instinct, that connection to self, that knowing and trusting that it's about the journey, but it's about your perception of the journey and what it means to you always. Right, so I'm just gonna go down. I just want to go down the back as well. So excuse me. I'm gonna put a little on my fingertips. It's really good. And intend to connect with your innermost truth, that purity, if I may say it that way. I hope that's the right way to say it, or that you can read between the lines and know what I'm trying to say. And just reach into that space within you and pull out your truth. And when I say pull out, I mean bring it to the surface, make it visible, comprehensible by you. So, truth in your spiritual connection, or how you connect. And I should say, of course, when I say truth, I don't mean fact. Truth and fact are different. The inner eye, truth with your ability to connect with the subtle senses, with the inner vision, and utilize it in ways that support you. Throat, the mind, the thought. Whose thoughts are you thinking, Sometimes we're so intuitive, we're kind of picking up other people's thoughts and we don't even know what's ours. It's kind of spooky. The heart. Really go in there and bring it out. Just really I guess we don't need words today. Solar plexus, your truth of this experience, who you've come into this life to be. Sacral, your instinct. And please know, of course, thought is always important. We need to discern. But we want to work with the flow, so that's what the theme is, I almost feel like connecting that instinct to more of the body is what I want to focus on. The root, truth in your connection to this realm, to concepts of lack or ideas about relationships, ideas about how the journey is supposed to go. honestly, it's going to be hard to see. But this is a really gorgeous red phantom quartz. Let me see if I can focus it first. And then I'll get at the candle and see if you can see it. But it has this perfect little crystal in shape inside there. And it's reddish kind of look. Super interesting, right? This is a perfect stone for right now. This is a perfect stone for Sagittarius. So I'm going to use it like a little pen and send in affirmations, truth, empowerment, balance, self, journey, and connection. And then just the energy of the stone itself, which I sort of have been, as you may have noticed. Just to send it in. Instinct. Right? So pretty. Here's that I'm so sorry that I can't think of it right now. I want to use this. Just to kind of work with this. I don't even know what to call this one. I just like how it feels. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of info for this, but I'll tell you, it feels awesome. It feels grounding. It feels supportive of transformation. And it just feels aligning, like, again, the way INNATE feels. Send this through in waves. Feels very like, well, it doesn't feel fleshy. It feels like a stone. But it has like a kind of fleshy quality to it somehow. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's the rawness. vibrations are just so cool. Here's that red tourmaline in a quartz sphere that I just wanted to bring in to put between your feet for grounding, but grounding the journey, the centaur, like walking, walking around on the world, going in and out of phases, of having different opinions. I think when we think of truth as well, it's almost like it has to be one way only, but your truth will change, your interest will change, what you find gratifying changes, everything changes. And that's why truth is not fact. It is unique to the beholder, or I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm just going to place this between your feet. This morganite to help quiet the mind and release the need to make fact of your truth. You know what I mean? It's okay to be opinionated in your own way, and I don't know. To change perspectives, to open your eyes, to expand your view. So I'm just going to kind of massage this into the throat. This I think I got from like Bliss crystals on Etsy, I want to say. So I'm going to go right into that little clavicle dip, that spot. And then the Kumbaba, that heart connection, for that intuitive access or strengthening, expansion. This also is very supportive for really letting go of thought patterns or belief systems that don't support you, and opening up to forming ones which do. Again, releasing what may have been imposed. I love this stuff. I would love to get like a couple towers of it. My next house, maybe. Just want to connect the sacral and the third eye. Then cross over the heart. Just bridging them all together for the season. Go the other way for good measure. Little resist mist. I just want to go like all around the head and stimulate that deep cleansing. If I can use the word cleansing, I'll do it for you. Just releasing any clouding, any systematic ways of thinking that don't support you or the collective. Sag is very much about the self, so that's where we're at today. But by being true to ourselves, we are being true or supportive of the collective as well. Just all around my head. Let's go to the back. Sorry, bumping into stuff. Douglas fir again. It's a good one, but I do want to use it up so I can start my new one. But it is a good one. I want to use this as a field holder. Hold the field of your mental space, of your energy body in general, but particularly the mental space. seeing the Devil card in like tarot, which means being confined, being held in some place, being kind of dominated in some way that restricts you. So I just want to focus here. And release any shackles, any binding. Call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael to support this release of any holding in any space of confinement. Bust through those chains. Just disconnect. Sorry. Feels a lot better. You see candles, like a lot of candles, like those pillar candles. No, not pillar. Like dining room table candles. What are those called? Just want to get another spray. So we're going to spray this in front of you, behind you, to your right, to your left, above and below. Some of you might have some things come to the surface. It feels like high school era. It doesn't feel like childhood, but like coming of age. Some kind of regret or restriction, or it should have been this way, or that's why I messed up, like that kind of thing. So if it is, we're just gonna support. And I'd like to change the focus if you don't mind when I do this kind of stuff. Just gonna allow that validation, but the release of any victimized thoughts or victimized beliefs. There we go. A little momentum. And I don't mean to say that it didn't happen or your memory is wrong, but to release the feeling like in any way something could affect your life like that without your permission, and reclaim your power for your journey. use our little stone again just to put it back in this empowerment. You're in control. This is your story. This is your journey. This is your path. Just channel it through. Aura. Just bring it back before I forget. Thank you. Getting this like sarcophagus kind of vibe, but kind of like one more at a cartoon where they're like a standing sarcophagus. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video, this little session, and I hope you find it supportive in some way. I want to thank you so much, patrons, for first helping me to create these in general, but the support, the community, the conversation, thank you so much for being there. Thank you to all the viewers, to anyone, at all. Thank you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to connect with you. And I thank you for letting me be a little piece of your path today. From the very, very, very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine in you, in me, to the magic that we share. Much love.